All right. I'm going to finish reading where I left off, but what I want to do is just read this little bit of information here that is about what we just read. Without form and void describes the condition of the earth as the result of the judgment, verses 24 through 26, Isaiah 24, verse 1, more support, which overthrew the primal order of Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Okay? So it's declaring that this order of Genesis 1, verse 1 was of the creative act, and then there was a primal order. Things were still very primitive. So what you see here is, I beheld the earth, and lo, it was without form. I told you this was after that judgment has come, which has overthrown the primal order. And then we see the shift of the vision change. And it says here what we've read, and then we come down here, and this is where it's important. Lo, there was no man. So this is not earth at the time. There was no man, and all the birds of heaven were fled. So what we see here is this birds of heaven, these are their crafts. And we're talking about the fallen ones, friends, and you know that they're using crafts now. And this is that time of the past when this technology was real, and these sons of God were using these types of vehicles to traverse the skies. Now we go here, and it says, and I beheld, and lo, the fruitful place was a wilderness. Now it can't be earth, because the earth was of a primal order. All right, there were no cities between this point of the judgment and now. And what we got here, let's read it. And I beheld, and lo, the fruitful place was a wilderness. Okay, so we're not talking about verse 23. And all the cities thereof were broken down. So if you look at verse 23, the earth was without form and void. Okay, so in this instance, we're talking about another place that at this time was fruitful, even had cities, had something that was called the birds of heaven that were able to flee this destruction. Okay, and then we have here, I want you to understand that we're talking about Nibiru. We're talking about one of the way back early distant passages of this dwarf star as it's going through our solar system. And what you're seeing, that it has caused destruction on both Earth and Mars. Now there's a reason why these beings are on Mars. Now we're talking at this point beings in a physical form, just like you know the story of Genesis 6, that the sons of God took unto themselves daughters. Well, they were in physical form. These are those same beings, okay, and those that are related to them. Now, this ties all up to a lot of other ancient information that they have tried to keep from you. But if you go to Google and you Google Cydonia region, you'll see a region on Mars that has the Sphinx face, and it has those same three pyramids that you're going to see in Giza, Egypt. It's the same ones. You're already making the connection, at least some of you, that those pyramids are connected to the fallen in some way. And then now what you need to understand is that the Cydonia region, of which NASA has even dubbed that name, Cydonia means City of Angels. Why is NASA calling this region with pyramids on it on Mars City of Angels? Well, because they know something. And those pyramids are attesting to something. So why were there pyramids on Mars? Well, it's simple, because the Earth was covered with ice at that time. We were going through an ice age. And this was a place that they were waiting while this ice age was over before they could come and start this mission here in the Fertile Crescent, which is where modern day Iraq is now. I'll be back.